Good morning. I'm Elaine M. Bergstrom, an artist perspective, and today I'm going to share a little bit about one of the techniques I use to warm up before I paint. I have a couple classes out on breath, brush, and meditation. I think it's important to center yourself a little bit, relax, breathe, and sometimes not just to begin right away because we have that angst with that white paper. So first things first, sit up straight, shoulders down, head is kind of pulled up so that your posture is aligned. I'm kind of I'm short, so I need to scoot off the edge of my chair a little bit. And then for today's purpose, I'm using one of my inexpensive Asian brushes for this practice. It's a Yasutomo brush number 3, and I have the brush is wet. So I always wet it first, wipe it on the edge of the water jar. I call that reshaping. Dip it in about 3/4 of the way and wipe it on the edge. And I usually take a few breaths, centering breaths. I call them belly breaths, where I breathe in, fill up my whole chest and stomach area with air. And actually your stomach can protrude. Hold it for a few seconds and then exhale. So let's try it together. Put your right hand on your belly, left hand on top. Breathe in. Check your posture. Breathe in. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I find that when I'm brushing and breath painting, I need to exhale from my mouth and make a snake sound because I can get longer strokes and it seems more relaxing for me. So after I sit and I do a couple belly breaths, I position my hand on the sumi brush. And then sometimes I make strokes and go across. But today, let's just wiggle and then come up with no pressure. So breathe in, and when I touch down, that's when I start painting. So breathe in, exhale. And again, breathe in, exhale, breathe in and exhale. So you can see it's broken. So I'm, clearly not yet in my flow. So that's one way. If you don't have any ink or sumi brush, you can also use some watercolors. I'm going to just wet a watercolor brush and let's do some quin. Put on my palette. Oh, I got a big chunk. And breathe in. And exhale. So when you're making your fine line, which I'm starting to get in my zone, there is no pressure on the brush. There you go. So that's one of my practices, and if you'd like to learn more about how you can just paint and meditate at the same time, check in with me. I'm probably going to be offering one free class so you can try it out and see if you like it, and maybe offering it in the next month or so. So today, I wasn't sure what I wanted to share with you, and I decided I have a photograph of an image that I took a couple years ago when I moved down to Florida, and it's a reflection piece. And I kind of sketched it up just a little bit on Yupo paper. And if you've never painted on Yupo paper, I used to not like it much, but I thought it gave some interesting effects. And really want to begin exploring it because I saw some wonderful watercolor artists using it incredibly well. So I'm going to start by taking a small hickey brush, and I'm going to start wetting this area. I want to drop in some paint. Now with Yupo paper, I mean, you could totally lift everything off because it's a very high gloss, sleek type of paper. And I want to start with some, let's see, that brush has a lot of paint on it. Let's just get a clean brush. And this is an Asian brush, but you can use a mop or a big brush to do this. So I want to drop in some blue. And since it's wet, obviously it's not wet enough. I want it to kind of puddle around on here. And if I don't like it, it's not really absorbing it into the paper. So I can just lift it up really nicely. And then I'm going to drop in, it's a blue-black ink. I've talked about it on another video. And just going to kind of play. So it's not really moving the way I had hoped, like so used to being on watercolor paper. But it does do some fun things. So this blue-black is beautiful. You could use a Payne's gray or kind of mix up. So it's kind of wet, so I think I'm going to stop with that and let that kind of absorb. And then I see some reddish black tones in my image, and you can pick out something that speaks to you, you know. So this is it without, and if I spread, I can get some streaks dry. We kind of get that with some dry brush. And I put in some, let's do some Payne's gray in here. So I have like a mixture. Let's move this up just a little bit so you can see it. And the ground, this is a reflection, and the ground is just really textured. So I don't know what I want to do with it, but I thought it'd be fun just to paint today. Now, let's do some I need a little bit normally I would just play my soft meditative music. It's kind of giving me a really nice texture. I like it. And if I keep layering it, and notice that I like to move my brush around. It gives more movement. Now you can achieve this with some of this with a watercolor brush, and it has to be a soft brush so it can spread. And what I like about this type of combination Asian brush is that it doesn't bend back to a point. And when I teach traditional Asian painting, I really like that it goes back. But look at this wonderful texture that it's giving me. So let me add, let's see, I feel it's a little dark, but it's a bluish black, so we'll just kind of blot it and add that on top. Now, if you want to, do some loose painting, this is kind of wonderful. And I like painting from a reference. Usually, most of the time they're my own photographs, so I get better at looking at details. And now I need some brownish black. So you could be doing this with like a burnt umber, mixing some different colors. That's a little dark, So maybe I'll take my spray bottle. So it kind of it took away the texture, but let's see if we can play with it a little bit. Might do some interesting things. And this is kind of just puddling here, so I'm gonna just lift up for right now. And I have my bamboo pen reeds, and I'm going to take some black ink. There's a reflection of a tree in here. I did trace it, so I need to find. Oh, look at that wonderful, nice bleed going on. this does is you just dip it and play with it. You don't have to refill it. Sometimes you run out of ink, so that might be a problem depending on what kind of work that you do. But this is really an old-fashioned tool, but it's just so wonderful to use. It gives me a chance to draw. So if it's too wet, just figure it's going to bleed. But it can create some nice fine lines there too. And then in my picture, I have some really fine tree branches here. So we'll see how wet it is. It could even thinner. So this is a different pen. And, you know, they're carved. If you're a carver, you probably could make your own. Probably use a calligraphy pen too. Still a little wet. A little stippling. Just keep taking some ink from that area. So there's a lot of line movements on the reflection on top. I could sponge, I could fling, I can do a lot of different things. Really, this needs to dry. I really will go back in there. This is a little too wet right now. So, but you see, you can basically wipe the whole thing and then start all over. So I'm liking some of the texture that's going on, and just trying to think of how I want to lay this in. So I'm thinking I'm going to start with maybe some orange. So a bit of orange on top here. We've got some ink from the branching, so I'm just going to lift that up. Now you can totally let this dry and it will reactivate. So while I have some puddling, so even if it if it turns out that I can't turn it into the technique that I want, it's very meditative because the Yupo paper kind of has a mind of its own. So you could just have a sheet and probably just continue to keep wiping it off and using it over and over again. For instance, this just turned into a blob, so I'm just gonna kind of lift some of it out. It's already drying a little bit, but it's wonderful. It's not like watercolor paper where you are stuck doing that. So I've got some really cool marbling effects going on here, and I just wanted you to be exposed to it. I also have, I don't know if I could use it now, but I found this wire brush at my local art store, and I'm going to wet it and see what I can do with it. I might have put some ink on it, but I want it to be kind of, so obviously if there's some water, I'm getting, like a bristle brush. Just wondering how that's showing up for you to see. But then I can swirl it. I barely have some, ink on here because but it's starting to give me the texture that I'm trying to create in here. But it's just fun playing with it because I don't know what it's going to do. Probably going to see some more work from me with using these techniques after I play around with them. So that has way too much ink on it, and I'm going to clean that. I can move this. That up just a little bit. Some nice texturing. So I think I got a little dark on top. I'm going to lift out some more. So I'd like you to have some fun with this. I'm not sure where I'm going with this, and if I finish it or do some more, I'll definitely post it. But I'd love to hear from you and what you're working on. And if you have any questions, I'd love to see, what you're thinking about and what you're interested in. So have a great weekend. If you're enjoying the videos that I'm putting out, please like them. You can find me on my YouTube channel as well and on Instagram. Keep looking for upcoming classes on Zoom. Thank you so much.